Tonight, my second talk on exercise and mood during lockdown. What to enjoy and what to avoid to support your mood during lockdown and the reasons why. First of all, I'd just like to say I'm not an exercise physiologist. I'm not a personal trainer. I love to exercise and I exercise pretty much every day. And certainly during lockdown, I've been pounding the pavement kilometre after kilometre, as well as doing a lot of stretching and other exercises at home. And what I do know is how important exercise is for us during lockdown, not only for our mood, but for other things. And I hope that I get to share that with you all this evening. Okay, let's start. So I'd like to warmly welcome each of you to my second talk in my three-part series for Maccabi walkie-talkies. My third talk next week will be on sleep and the importance of sleep during lockdown for our mood. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me this evening, and I look forward to sharing my knowledge with you and answering any of your questions. I'd also like to thank Mandy and Nicole for inviting me to speak to you all, and I hope you enjoy the information presented tonight. What are some of the strategies that we have for supporting mood? There's social and emotional support, meditation and mindfulness, spending time in nature, movement and exercise, which we're going to be talking about this evening, nutrient-dense anti-inflammatory diet, which I spoke about last week, and sleep, which I'll speak about next week. All of these strategies are so important for us to support our mood during lockdown, but even if we were not in lockdown, just to support our overall health. I have a few lovely graphs. I'm a big graph girl. I'm a very visual person, so it helps me to see it, on exercise/movement, because we don't all have to be marathon runners. I'm certainly not a runner. I'm a walker, not a runner. I know there are many runners out there, and I take my hat off to all of you. Exercise can be simple. It does not have to be complicated. As long as we are moving our body, it doesn't matter what it is initially. Sure, there can be specific things that we do, but when we're needing to help our mood, any type of exercise can be beneficial. So what does exercise and movement do for us? We know that it supports our overall emotional and psychological health. The endorphins, the happy chemicals, they flood our body. They help us feel uplifted, more positive, more enthusiastic, more happy. They help us to get a good night's sleep. We can't underestimate just how much moving our body supports our circadian rhythm. Part of that rhythm is our sleep-wake cycle. Exercise absolutely reduces the risk of or assists in the management of cardiovascular disease. For example, high blood pressure and high cholesterol. A large part of my practice is cardiovascular disease, and exercise, walking, movement, relaxation, whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, anything like that, can all be extremely beneficial, because what we're wanting to do is relax the pipes in the body. Exercise helps to prevent weight gain and can absolutely assist with weight loss. The key to that is the type of exercise, when you do your exercise, how much exercise you do, and if you're also helping your body with the exercise to perform better. Exercise absolutely builds strong muscles and bones, and to prevent things like osteopenia, osteoporosis, we know that weight-bearing exercise and resistance training is vital to building the muscle, to stabilize the joints and the bones, and to helping to lay down new bone as well. Exercise supports our entire stress response. Those adrenal glands of ours that are busy pumping out all that adrenaline and cortisol, and we keep our foot on the accelerator. Our thyroid gland, which is the engine of our car to keep us going all the time. All of those, including our brain, are all involved in our entire stress response. And by exercising, we can help with the overall functioning of it, the relaxation of it, and treating different conditions related to those organs. Exercise, we know, reduces the risk of or assists in the management of type 2 diabetes. And we know that we can help people come off medication or not even need to go onto medication for type 2 diabetes just by modifying their diet and by bringing in exercise. And of course, it increases our energy levels, our lung capacity increases. We don't have to huff and puff in order to get better lung expansion. Just by deep breathing will help improve our lungs, which will help improve our oxygen intake, which can then also help release carbon dioxide and increase our overall energy levels as well. Furthermore, exercise and movement can distract us from our worries and concerns and help us get out of a constant cycle of negative thoughts and feelings. When we're focused on a movement, when we're focused on exercise, particularly if we're exercising outside in nature, in a park, by the ocean, anywhere in nature, that in itself can distract us from our worries and our concerns. Also, and I know this might sound a bit bizarre, but when we're in a park, we're actually interacting with the plants and the trees, and they're giving off different chemicals that are helping us. Also, when we're down by the ocean and we're breathing in the salt, we're breathing in the atmosphere, that also is of great benefit. Exercise and movement can increase our confidence and can help us start to feel better about ourselves, even starting with 5 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be an hour. It doesn't have to be 3 hours. 5-10 minutes a day can be all you need to get started and to then build on that, because the more you build on it, the more positive you feel. The more positive and motivated you feel, the more you want to then do a little bit more exercise. I know some of us are going to be doing a lot more than others. What's so important is that we don't compare ourselves to anybody else. We are each our own unique individual with our own unique needs and requirements. And what works for one person may not work for somebody else. So it's ideal if we just work out what is best for ourselves. Exercise may help us feel more in control and may improve our self-esteem as we are taking an active role in our own health and well-being. And I know how important that is as well. When our mood is low, it's so easy to become disheartened, to lose interest, to just want to sit down and do nothing. If we start to just take some control, take an action, no matter how small it is, it can absolutely start to improve our self-esteem, and we can build on that. Exercise may help us avoid turning to less healthy options such as alcohol and emotional overeating. We all know that when we're stressed, it is so easy to turn to food, whether it's chocolate, chips, cakes, biscuits, all of those sorts of things. Feeling that way? Pop on the shoes, do some exercise. Yes, we may still feel like some of those foods, but maybe we won't need as many. Or maybe we'll be able to delay when we do eat them so that we don't need to have as much. And just speaking of chocolate for 1 second, I realized that last week I didn't even talk about chocolate with speaking about nutrition and lockdown and mood. Chocolate's okay. Every day we can have some chocolate. The key comes down to the type of chocolate, which ideally is dark chocolate, 70% or higher, and a few pieces every day, no problem. I know there are going to be days when we have more than a few pieces. We can deal with that, but chocolate does have many benefits. The issue is when we have it, the type we have, and how much. Exercise may give us an opportunity to connect with someone else and feel less isolated. Even during lockdown, we're able to exercise potentially with a friend. I was exercising with a friend yesterday. It makes all the difference to enjoy a chat and a laugh while we're pounding the pavement, so to speak. So it can absolutely give us that benefit. And it allows us to connect with ourselves and process what we are thinking and feeling. When we're exercising, no matter what we're doing, if we're focusing on that exercise, on our breath, breathing in, breathing out, it's very easy for everything else to be left behind. We can go into a meditative state. And in that state, it's a much nicer place to be able to relax, even while exercising. And it also gives us an opportunity to process through things that we may be experiencing. When we're caught up in the cycle of anxiety and stress, it becomes very difficult to quiet a busy mind. We need to burn off the adrenaline. We need to help the adrenal glands, which are running like this, burn it off so that they can allow some calm to come in. That's where exercise is so important and can be so valuable. But wait, there's even more. Exercise can absolutely improve our detoxification and liver health. If we improve our detoxification and liver health, we're not as acidic, we're not as inflamed, we're eliminating our waste products better. That's absolutely going to then help our mood as well. It improves blood flow and circulation, mental health, brain health, heart health. Everything is moving with the movement of that blood flow. Improved brain health there, improved lung health and breathing, improved immune function. And it can also help improve our bowel health and assist in the treatment of constipation. So even though we're talking about mood, I couldn't not do my charts to show you just how valuable exercise can be. Even a short amount can have benefits. I know I used this slide last week. I just wanted to put it in again, just to remind us how destabilizing and debilitating stress of any kind can be, with the release of hormones such as cortisol from our adrenal glands, and that it can result in the inflammation and acidity, decreased detoxification, decreased immunity, decreased thyroid function, which can lead to decreased energy, constipation, weight gain, further anxiety, plus insulin resistance and high cholesterol, weight gain, and so on. It is so important that what we look at doing with movement and exercise is helping to release some of this stress to allow our overall body to function better. So what do we know about exercise? Unfortunately, more than half of all Australian adults are not active enough. So that tells us that more than half Australian adults are more sedentary than active. Being physically active and limiting sedentary behaviour every day is absolutely essential for our mood and our overall health and well-being. We need to move our booty. We need to move our tush. And doing any physical activity is better than doing none. Even walking backwards and forwards to the post box can be some exercise. Walking up the stairs in the apartment block can be exercise. It does not have to be a get out there, exercise gear on, pounding the pavement. We know that exercise boosts production of our body's feel-good neurotransmitters, known as endorphins. They have a positive impact on our mood and stress, and they are natural mood lifters. Exercise also helps treat depression by increasing one of our neurotransmitters called serotonin, which helps our brain to regulate mood, sleep, and appetite, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which helps our brain neurons to grow. A little bit more about that shortly. Those who exercise regularly have been shown to have fewer symptoms of depression and anxiety. I'd like to just add a little note in here if you don't mind. A lot of the time I get people coming to my clinic telling me, particularly with things like weight loss, telling me that nothing's shifting on the scale. They're exercising more, they're eating even less, and they're not losing any weight. One of the things we do need to be careful with exercise is not to over-exercise. When we are feeling depleted, tired, stressed, and overwhelmed, we know that our stress response system, our adrenal glands, our thyroid, even our brain, our pituitary gland in the brain, they're all working extremely hard, and our adrenal glands can become very tired. We call that adrenal fatigue. People will often say that in order to then exercise, they need to have some coffee or they need to have another type of stimulant in order to get their bodies going. Or they start to exercise feeling exhausted, love the endorphins, love the feel of the exercise, but soon after the exercise, they fall down in a heap on the couch. Their body is not okay with the actual amount of exercise. And part of what we need to do is listen to our body. Too often we dictate to our body from our head. If we can also listen to our body, it can guide us as to how much it feels comfortable doing. Knocking ourselves out by over-exercising actually can create more stress, more inflammation, more acidity, and eventually even more fatigue. So it's all about balance, which is actually what everything is ideally all about. Moderate intensity exercise can be an effective treatment on its own for mild to moderate depression. Exercise can help treat people with depression or anxiety who have partially responded to antidepressants. In other words, it can support their treatment and actually help the medication work better. It may also prevent some people from experiencing being depressed again. Therefore, it is essential that an exercise regime is maintained. It's one of those things that once we start to exercise, it's ideal that we keep it going. If we know that we are the type of person who can be all or nothing, starting slow and then building up might be a little bit challenging. However, if we understand why we need to do the things we need to do, perhaps we can then look at ways to actually change behaviours. Like anything, it needs to be repeated, not necessarily every day, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, nor does it have to be the same type of exercise every day. Variety can make it more enjoyable, keep us motivated, and give different benefits to our body. Exercise also reduces the immune system chemicals that can make depression worse. And it helps by getting our sleep patterns back to normal. And of course, getting enough sleep can protect our brain from damage, which absolutely will support our mood. Exercise limits the effect of stress on our brain. What do we know about a sedentary lifestyle? Sedentary behavior is sitting or lying down, except for when we are sleeping. We all need downtime. We all need rest and relaxation time. The key, the goal, is to find the balance between moving and resting. Working all day and moving to the couch to relax, not necessarily such a great idea. Working, going for a walk, doing some yoga, maybe doing some Pilates, maybe doing some Tai Chi, a few other options, going for a swim in the ocean if you like swimming during winter. Anything like that moves the body, moves the blood that has been sitting all day in a chair. Our brains looking at a computer all day become very, very tired. Our eyes become tired. We need to move that and shift it, particularly to then be able to have a good sleep. Sedentary behavior is associated with much poorer health outcomes, including an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, weight gain, metabolic syndrome, constipation, and of course, changes in mood and feelings of well-being. A note on BDNF. I wanted to put this in here just to give you something else to consider and what we can do to help this very important factor in our brain health. BDNF is a protein produced by our body with the job of helping our body maintain and repair neurons, our nerve cells, form new neural connections, support memory and learning, and support the survival of brain cells in all areas of our brains. It has been found that BDNF levels are low in depression and anxiety and very low in those with dementia or Alzheimer's. There is also a correlation between a low BDNF and binge drinking, obesity, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes. However, we can support our BDNF levels. In other words, we can support the health of the nervous system of our brain by exercising regularly, getting plenty of sleep, breathing fresh air and spending time in the sunlight, managing stress. Yoga and meditation may absolutely increase BDNF levels, and avoiding processed foods and sugar, all the things that create the foods and sugar that create inflammation and acid, all the things I spoke about last week. I just want to say a word about meditation while I'm looking at it on the screen. Meditation is not about sitting in the lotus position chanting. It absolutely can be, but it doesn't have to be that way. If you're somebody who finds it difficult to sit and just breathe in the silence, one of the reasons could be because your mind is actually too busy to quieten down. If we do a little bit of exercise and get the blood moving and release some of that stress, it does actually become much easier to then sit and meditate. As I say to a lot of my clients, meditation is when we are completely focused on the task that we are doing. Washing the dishes could be a form of meditation. If you're standing there washing the dishes or ironing, even vacuuming, cleaning, dusting, any of those household chores can actually become a form of meditation if all you're doing is focusing on the task and breathing, not thinking what you have to do next, not compiling the to-do list, none of that, just focusing. The more you're able to do that, eventually you may then be able to meditate sitting down, but it doesn't have to be that way. Going for a walk, running, swimming, even dancing, any of those sorts of things can actually become a form of meditation where the mind can quieten down, the body can breathe, and the stress can ease. Eating plenty of high quality protein and restricting carbohydrate intake from grains can help our brain stay healthy as we age. It's not about eliminating the carbs, it's about restricting them. Dark chocolate, another wonderful positive attribute of dark chocolate, because I have it most days myself. Blueberries and extra virgin olive oil are high what we call polyphenol foods that have been shown to increase BDNF and support brain health. Omega-3s in fatty fish also increase BDNF levels. The reason I wanted to put this in here as well was to demonstrate how easy it is to include things in our diet and into our lifestyle daily routine where we can literally be supporting our long-term health and well-being. So what can exercise be? Exercise could be any physical activity that gets our body moving, makes our breathing become quicker and our heart beat a little faster. For some people, it could be one flight of stairs. For others, it could be a walk around the block. For others, a few jumping jacks. For somebody else, it could be just walking to the post box. We can be physically active in many different ways at any time of the day. What we do is going to depend on our age, our level of fitness, and our current state of health. However, no matter what our age, level of fitness, or current state of health, all of us can do some form of exercise. Exercise does not need to be fancy, nor do we need to wear fancy clothes to do it. Starting with 5 minutes a day can absolutely be a good enough start. Exercise can be both aerobic, such as walking, cycling, or running or dancing, and strength training, such as lifting weights. But it doesn't have to be those big, massive weights at the gym. A 0.5 kilo weight held in each hand can be wonderful for doing some strength training, for helping build muscle, stabilize our bones, etc. Aerobic exercise can be of a moderate intensity where activities take some effort, but we are still able to talk while doing them. For example, a brisk walk, swimming, social dancing, social tennis, golf, household tasks like cleaning windows or vacuuming, or raking leaves or pushing a pram. I was trying to think of different things we could do. I know some of those things we can't do at the moment, but there are a lot of things that we can do. Or it can be of a vigorous intensity that requires more effort and makes us breathe harder and faster. For example, jogging, aerobics, fast cycling. Exercise outdoors. There have been reports that exercising outdoors leads to a higher level of vitality, enthusiasm, and self-esteem, and a greater desire to exercise more. We also know absolutely that natural light and sunshine lifts our moods, and walking and exercising outside helps us feel better. Staring at the walls inside the house can be very debilitating. Getting out, even for half an hour, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever you can fit into your schedule, will naturally start to lift our mood. Even if you don't feel like smiling, just being out in nature, part of the world, can already start to make some form of difference. Researchers in the UK have been studying exercising in nature and have found that even 5 minutes exercising in nature can lift our mood. Think about going for a walk in a park and exposing ourselves to plants and their airborne chemicals can support our immune systems. We all live together and we can all actually support one another. The trees give off oxygen, we give off carbon dioxide. The trees take up the carbon dioxide, we take up the oxygen. It's a wonderful relationship. So is hugging a tree, actually. If you've never tried it, I do recommend it. It can be very soothing. So a few exercise possibilities that I came up with, and I know there are more. I know there are more. Pop on some music and waltz with your loved one. Pop on some music and dance in the living room. No one's watching. Doesn't matter how you look. Play a game of musical chairs. Get the kids involved or just whomever is in the house. If you live in an apartment complex, take the stairs instead of the lift. I confess, and I call the stairs in my apartment building my sanity stairs, because there have been many times when I have found myself just walking the stairs, moving my body, helping myself change from sitting to standing, helping myself with how I'm feeling. Take a walk around the block, pop on some music and move your whole body while doing any house chores. When working, set your alarm for 5 to 10 minute breaks every 1 to 2 hours and get up and move, dance, do jumping jacks, stretch, walk a flight of steps. Another way that we can keep ourselves motivated is by using the step apps, where we can track how many steps we do in a day. I know for many people it becomes very motivational because they want to try and improve the number of steps they're doing the next day and the next day. There are many out there. You can find one that works well for you. One of the things we can also consider, which I like to talk about being a naturopath, is different supplements that we can consider to support exercise. Why do I say that? Some of the aims are to decrease inflammation that can occur with exercise. Exercise does create inflammation. We produce lactic acid, for example. That's an acid. There's inflammation. People who suffer with a lot of muscle cramps and a lot of spasms and stiffness, there's inflammation in their body. We also want to support the recovery of the muscles and joints after exercise. It is absolutely okay to feel as though you've worked your body with exercise. It is not okay to be stiff and sore for days afterwards. It's not necessary to be like that, and it's putting your body under stress, especially if you're then wanting to go and exercise more. We also need to replace the electrolytes that are lost with sweating. The electrolytes that we need for our bodies and our cells to function also are necessary for our mood. And when we sweat a lot and don't drink enough and replace the electrolytes, it can cause a few issues in the body. It's also very important to understand and know that just drinking water on its own all the time is very difficult for the body to absorb. The cells of the body can often struggle to pull the water across into the cell, particularly if there's underlying health conditions going on and if there is a lot of inflammation and stress in the body. It's like the inflammation and the stress create a coating around the cell of the body, which makes it very hard for water to come in. So people will often say to me, I'm drinking a lot, I'm drinking 2 liters, 3 liters. And my next question is, well, how much are you going to the toilet? And a lot of people are then saying, I am going to the toilet all the time. I might as well sit on the toilet while I'm drinking, because what's happening is the water's going in one end and literally straight out the other, washing over the cells, not coming into the cell. So we often need to put things into water to help pull it across. And by doing that, we're not only then helping our cells hydrate, but we are replacing essential nutrients that we're losing with things like exercise, as well as stress, ill health, and so on. Lemon in water, for example, while it's not an electrolyte like that, it does help flush the body. It helps alkalize the body. Magnesium in water, some magnesium powder in water. Magnesium is an essential nutrient. It will help the cells to absorb water. A little pinch of sea salt into water. Sea salt has all the electrolytes that we need, unlike regular table salt, which has had everything stripped out of it except the sodium and the chloride, which is actually acidic. Regular sea salt can be part of alkalizing because it's got the mineral components in there. And of course, we can also use electrolyte powders. I will say, try to avoid Gatorade too much and those types of drinks, because they are loaded with sugar, and even the ones with no sugar have artificial sugars that are not necessarily all that great for us. We also want to consider supplements to provide energy to the muscles and to the body to exercise. And this goes even to those people who can only start with 5 minutes a day. Moving the body takes effort, and we need to support the body. If we can provide energy to the body, which has become depleted through stress, anxiety, fear, and so on, it will then help the body to exercise. And we also want to prevent cramps. So some supplements to consider to support your exercise could be coenzyme Q10. CoQ10 is a very important nutrient. As we get older, we don't make enough of it, so we need to get it from a supplement. And I would recommend that most people take CoQ10 regardless of how much exercise they're doing, particularly for anybody who's got any type of chronic health problem, cardiovascular problem, autoimmune condition. The list is endless. CoQ10 is an antioxidant, so it protects our cells. It also powers the mitochondria, which are the energy producing parts, the batteries of our cells. It also helps skeletal muscle, which we need for our exercise, to get energy, and it has a special affinity for the heart. It is also a blood thinner, so can help with circulation and preventing blood clots. So CoQ10 is a very, very good nutrient to consider, not only for exercise, but for overall health as well. Generally, I recommend to people 150 milligrams a day. If you've got cardiovascular problems or certain other health conditions, then it may be higher than that, but you'd need to speak to your practitioner, whoever they may be, and get their professional advice. Magnesium is another one. We cannot go without magnesium. It's essential for everything from muscle health, cardiovascular health, nervous system health, blood sugar health. The list is endless. A good magnesium powder or magnesium tablets, whichever you prefer, can go a long way to supporting your exercise by decreasing inflammation, decreasing muscle tension and cramping, and helping you perform better. I've mentioned electrolytes as well already. Vitamin D is absolutely essential to support exercise. A lot of people talk about let's get out in the sun. There is a large percentage of the population who genetically do not convert vitamin D to its active form in sunlight. There are genetic tests that we could do to find out if you are somebody like that. And if you are, and you've got that gene variant, then you're going to need to supplement anyway. With winter, we usually need to always supplement as well. knowing that an ideal vitamin D level is 100, naturopathically speaking, it's very rare to not need supplements. So a good vitamin D supplement can be a very good nutrient to consider. Omega-3 fish oil, anti-inflammatory, supports the joints, supports the bones, supports the brain, and fish oil in capsules or in liquid, it's not a problem. The only thing I will say about the products that you choose to buy, if it is a container that contains 1,000 capsules and it's as cheap as $20, please, please, please put it back. The chances of it being of low quality are high. We have to remember that with fish oils, the fish oil needs to be cleaned. It needs to have gone through a system that makes it as pure as possible, removing toxins, removing anything that is actually toxic to our body. Good quality fish oils do cost more, but in the long run, they will be cheaper because you will get a better, what's the word I'm looking for, outcome with them, and they will work better in your bodies with less chances of toxicity. Curcumin, turmeric, everybody's talking about that, I'm sure you've heard, and there are a lot of different products out there. Turmeric, very, very anti-inflammatory, very good for bones, very good for joints, all the different parts of the body that we want to protect and support when we're exercising as well. I've just popped some of those food sources of some nutrients that support exercise there for you as well, and some points to take away with you. The importance of exercise and moving our bodies cannot be overstated to support our mood, not just during lockdown and isolation, but at any time of the year. Particularly in winter, actually, as well, because the weather is colder, we become more hibernating, more insular, the weather may not be as great, and so it does become much easier for those people who have a tendency to anxiety and depression to feel those moods much more readily and much more intensely. Exercise is a wonderful way to help combat that. The challenge can be in being motivated and compliant, especially during lockdown and the stress that it may generate. It's so easy to sometimes say, you know what, I'm just going to start tomorrow, or you know what, I'll start next Monday. If you can, have those thoughts and do it anyway, even if it's just a few minutes. If you are new to physical activity, have a health problem, or are concerned about the safety of being more active, please speak with your doctor or health professional, your exercise physiologist, your physiotherapist, your personal trainer, any of those people about the most suitable activities for you, because we want you to exercise, not injure yourself. Injuring just creates more of a burden. Our goal is to find opportunities to move. So let's ask ourselves, how could I do 15 to 30 minutes of physical activity today? That's all we'd need. If 15 to 30 minutes feels too much, go down to 5 or 10 minutes. You'll still get a benefit. Thank you very, very much for joining me tonight. Mandy, if there are any questions, I'd love to answer them, and all these slides will be available for you all as well.
Terrific, Brenda. Thank you so much. That's so much information.
No problem.
Round of applause from everyone.
Thank you. It was a bit shorter than last week's hour and a quarter.
Very good. I must say, I was amused when you spoke about the different types of exercise we can do in lockdown.
Yeah.
vacuuming, breaking the leaves, cleaning the windows, all the exercise we can do around the house. I changed the bed linen today. I was exhausted afterwards.
Well done. Have some magnesium.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so let me switch to some questions. Are you familiar with the Nutri-Life brand of supplements, and is it up to standard?
I would have to have another look at the Nutri-Life. I've had other clients be on Nutri-Life, and when they're sitting with me, I would look at the products with them there in my clinic. So to sit here and just be able to say yes or no, I don't feel I can give an honest evaluation. I'd need to have another look at them.
Fair enough. Is magnesium and various products best taken at night or in the morning, please?
Fantastic question. Thank you. It all depends on what you're wanting the product to do. Magnesium, if you're exercising, one of the ways you could have magnesium is by putting it into your water bottle, so that while you're exercising, you're actually drinking not only water, but magnesium as well, and supporting your whole body. If you're having trouble sleeping, magnesium can absolutely help with relaxing you to help you try and get to sleep. So depending on what you're wanting to do will dictate when we take the product. There's generally no hard right or wrong. There is, however, some products that cannot be taken together, but with something like magnesium, any time of the day is okay, depending on what you're wanting it to do.
Fair enough. Look, this next question I feel I could answer myself, but I'll ask you anyway.
I'll just say one thing, Mandy. Sorry to interrupt you. CoQ10, please take it in the morning because it's helping your energy through the day. I will say that about CoQ10. When you're taking vitamin D or fish oils, please take them with food because they're oils and they get absorbed better when they're taken with food.
Understand. Very good. Okay, so the question that I feel I can answer myself is, when is the best time to eat dark chocolate? Anytime?
Anytime. You know when people
All the time?
You know when people crave it the most? At night after dinner.
Yeah. Why is that?
It's a few reasons. If your evening meal has not been a complete meal, what I mean by that is if you haven't had a combination of protein plus your healthy carbs plus healthy fat, you're often running low in one of those essential ingredients. And it's often the healthy fat that's generating it. So people will often crave something sweet. Also, by the time you're sitting down after the day, you're wanting a reward. And whether it's the chocolate or the ice cream or the cup of tea with the biscuit, there's this desire to have a treat or a reward from the day. Those are some of the reasons why. So a few pieces of dark chocolate doesn't matter. And there's some wonderful brands out there, whether it's Panna Chocolate or Loving Earth or Lindt. Totally groovy.
I'm a big chocolate fan. Generally, I can stop at a couple of squares.
Yeah.
Except in the case of chocolate-covered peanuts, in which case the entire packet is usually flattened.
Bon appetit, potato.
Thank you.
I will chocolate also contains some feel-good chemicals. So
that's probably why we are addicted to them.
Yeah.
So another magnesium question.
Yeah.
Which magnesium is best, the powder or the tablets? I think we did actually address this one last week.
I'll say it again. No problem at all. It actually comes down, for me, the most important question to ask a client or a person is, what will you be the most compliant with? Because when you're using a lot of these products, we need you to be taking them regularly. So if you know you're going to be more compliant with tablets, take tablets. If you know you're going to be better with a powder, go for the powder. At the end of the day, it's either or. It'll then come down to the brand and the quality of the product that you're taking.
Oh, very good. I take magnesium every day. I find it really helps with cramping and joint pain.
Yeah.
Which is as a combination of my hormone suppressant drugs as well as probably just menopause. I don't know how many other people on the chat find that you start to cramp more as you get older. And I like the powder. I find if I put it in a glass of water, then I can knock it back easier.
And when you're doing it in a glass of water, you're then also getting the water with it. You know, I'll dilute a sachet of magnesium into my bottle of water, and that way I'm getting the magnesium and the added water.
And does magnesium in the water help it absorb better? You know, further to your earlier point?
It helps the cell to absorb the water better. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it for questions today. If there's anyone who's got any question, feel free to either raise your hand on the reactions or post it in the chat group. Here's one. Is Hydrolyte a recommended product when needed, please?
Hydrolyte.
Yeah.
If you hold on one sec, I'll just have a look at the ingredients in Hydrolyte. I'll just go onto my phone and have a look. There is a very good brand that you can use to replace electrolytes called Endura, which you should be able to find at a lot of health food stores, Endura. And their electrolyte products are good ones. I'm not paid by anybody, no commissions, nothing. Just, it's so important to me that people take good quality products. Yeah. You know what, Mandy, I'll look at Hydrolyte and I can email you and you can let people know. So
okay, perfect. If the person who asked that question wants to email me, then I will send them the response or post me their email address.
Thank you.
Okay, there's a few other questions coming in. Sure. Is drinking water with a concentrate in it or drinking tea or coffee considered to be part of one's 8-cup allocation of water for the day?
Whoever asked that question, could you please ask them what they mean by concentrate? Could you please let me know what you mean by concentrate? In answer to the drinking tea or coffee, if it's regular tea or coffee, no. They're actually diuretics.
Okay.
Okay. Some herbal teas I do consider as the allocation of water because you're also using the herbal tea you can use the herbal tea as a medicine and then it can count as well, but not regular tea or coffee.
Okay. The concentrate question is putting lemon cordial in. So is it
fresh lemon? Yes. Lemon cordial? No.
Okay. So it's not good for you, or it doesn't count as your water intake?
Lemon cordial doesn't count as the water intake, and nor would I say it's good for you, but fresh lemon is okay. Apple cider vinegar in water is okay. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. It would be wrong of me to say do it. I just need to be honest and say whether it's good for us or not.
So there's a lot of interest in magnesium. So I'll circle back to this question around which brand of magnesium you recommend. I know, again, we discussed this last week, but we can touch on it again.
One of the companies that I do recommend people can know that they are getting a good product, and again, I'm not sponsored by anybody, is Bioceuticals. And Bioceuticals does make their Ultra Muscles, or they make their Ultra Muscles Night for people who want some support in going to sleep. But their magnesium products are very good. Also, Ethical Nutrients, which is the retail brand of Metagenics. Metagenics is the practitioner brand. Their retail brand is Ethical Nutrients, and they're a very good brand as well. So those two are good. By Blackmores, I'm very happy to recommend Blackmores as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just post the bioceuticals link in the chat there now.
Thank you.
Okay, great. I think we're done with the questions, which is terrific. So once again, on behalf of Nicole Katz and Nikki Klugman, my fellow Maccabi Life leaders, thank you again for your time and for such a wonderful talk, your patience in answering all of those questions so cleverly. Just for everybody on the chat, we are looking to hold the third in our survival lockdown series next Tuesday evening, same time, same back channel, and it'll be on sleep and mood. That's right, Brenda. Sleep and mood.
Sleep and mood. Yeah.
Sleep and mood.
About the circadian rhythm and the importance of sleep and what we can do to support it. Yeah.
Fabulous. So we're all looking forward to that.
Sounds very exciting. That one will be a long one, Mandy.
Hopefully it doesn't put us to sleep.
Exactly.
Or in some cases, hopefully it does.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks again, everyone. Thanks for all your questions and your attention, and we will see you again next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. I will stop the recording.
Thanks. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I recognize that voice, Lisa.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
It's actually 9 o'clock, Mandy. It was an
Yes,
hour.
spot on. You did great this time.
Thank you. So good. So much good information. Thanks a lot.
And that's Shirley Snoyman, whose voice I also recognize very much.
Okay. Thank you.
That was another great turnout, Brenda. 40 people at that.
Oh, really? That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, you're roping in the crowds.
Shirley, I need to chat to you about something. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Sure. Pleasure. Okay. Cheers.
Thanks so much. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda. How do I?
You want me to